Good morning, Mom. Good morning, Bokmista. For today's lesson, we will be going to discuss what is electoral system and on how, when, and why political dynasties arise. So first, let us define what is electoral system. So electoral system is a voting system which is often known as an electoral system. It is a set of regulations that specify how elections and referendums are held and how their outcomes are decided. So, these rules govern all aspects of the voting process, such as when elections occur, who is allowed to vote, who can stand as a candidate, how ballots are marked and cast, how the ballots are counted, and how votes translate into the election outcome. So what now? We all know that Philippines is a democratic country. A democratic country has the chance to elect their representatives through voting. The candidate who gained the majority of the country's vote will be elected. In our country, which is the Philippines, we cannot deny the fact that political dynasties emerge and continue to spread all throughout the country. According to Article 2, Section 26 of the 1987 Constitution, it clearly states that the state shall guarantee equal access to opportunities for public service and prohibit political dynasties as may be defined by law. Although according to the Philippine Constitution, in 1987, particularly on Article 2, Section 26, it clearly states the prohibition of the political dynasty. But still, it always arises. Now, the big question is, why political dynasties continue? First, let us discuss what is political dynasty. What is political dynasty? So, political dynasty refers to the situation wherein members of the same family are occupying elected positions either in sequence for the same position or simultaneously across different positions. So, this problem emanates basically from three factors. So, first, the political and socioeconomic foundations upon which political dynasties are built. Second, inability to effectively implement Philippine constitutional provisions by enacting an enabling law. And lastly, the weakness of potential countervailing forces that would challenge political dynasties. So in order for us to understand how these factors affect the arising political dynasties in our country, then we will be discussing it one by one. So first, the political and socio-economic foundation upon which political dynasties are built. As you observe, same family are ruling in a particular area. This was so happen because there are no people who can stand and fight for the position because most of them are being strictly stricken by poverty and was not able to support by other people. Because they believe that if they are not ruled by a powerful person, then they can be surpassed by the strong ones. If they are ruled by the poor, then tendency is they will become poor or much worse, the elected has the higher chance to corrupt for his or her survival. But the truth is, the one who is in the high status is the one who have a tendency to corrupt. They are only victim by the political populism, which means the uses of the support of the audience to purify elections of their formalistic and procedural character. Next, the inability to effectively implement Philippine constitutional provisions by enacting an enabling law. So, here in the Philippines, there is no existing law about political dynasty. During the second Comelec debates, presidential bet Ping Lacson stresses the importance of having a law against political dynasties, as the Constitution also prohibits it. So, the absence of implementing a law and regulatory policies to restrict the occurrence of political dynasties enable political dynasties to occupy 77.5% of the Congress. Political dynasties also dominate and pervade local government units with 81.3% of governors, 81% of vice governors, 68.8% of mayors, and 56.9% of vice mayor, all coming from political dynasties. In 2018, Senator Pangilinan consolidated a bill known as Senate Bill Number 1765, otherwise known as the Anti-Political Dynasty Act of 2018. So Senate Bill Number 1765 under report number 367 of the Committee on Electoral Reforms and People's Participation effectively prohibits the immediate and extended relatives from running for political or public office to succeed or replace or simultaneously as an incumbent relative in the same area among others. So they attempt to implement it because political dynasties are killing democracy, cause poverty and inequality, and destroy fairness. However, the bill was not able to pass into law. Political dynasty bill always discussed but never moves. This is because many leaders in the Congress are adhering to the political dynasty. And lastly, the weakness of potential countervailing forces that would challenge political dynasties. Although we all know that political dynasties might result into corruption and poverty, we cannot deny the fact that many people support who is elite, as they believe that they can protect and support the whole community than the lowly.
Political dynasties, by limiting political competition, are thought to exacerbate corruption, poverty, and abuse of power.
The Philippines is noted for being a dynastic democratic country. Powerful clans have long played a major role in its politics for centuries. Political dynasty is not a new phenomenon in the Philippines. It originated with Spanish colonization in the 16th century and has continued right up until the present day.
Summary. Our country, which is the Philippines, we adopt the electoral system of majority. We choose our representative through voting. The candidate who gets the highest number of votes of the people will be elected. This helps us to vote and choose who we think can lead our country well. Despite the concrete electoral system, our country is currently facing political issues. One of it is the political dynasty. Political dynasty is one of the rampant issues in our country. Political dynasties have long been present in democracies, raising concerns that inequality in the distribution of political power may reflect imperfections in democratic representation. Political dynasty bill was always being discussed but never moves. This is because many leaders in the Congress are adhering to the political dynasty. And this is the sad reality. So that's the end of our lecture. I hope you learned something in our discussion. God bless us all.